You're watching Personal Finance with Coach Kelvin. Let's get into the video. Hey guys, Coach Kelvin here. Today I'm going to show you a micro investing platform here in Australia called Raiz. Now I believe Raiz originally came from the platform Acorns, but now it is renamed Raiz. Now I'm going to show you how the browser works. There is also a mobile phone app which makes things very easy. But this is a really cool platform because it basically allows you to make small incremental investments. You don't have to save up a big amount before you get started. The fees are relatively low considering you don't have to pay brokerage and other fees associated with normal investing. And it's nice to have a lot of different sort of products in one place. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you the home screen now. So just on here, it'll show you basically what the account value is today, what your future projection is. If you click here, it'll sort of forward plan to how far you are, and then it will show you back in the past also if you go there. So if you look here, after 48 years and 2 months, I should have about $78,000 in this account if I continue the same behaviors that I currently am. Okay, so we'll go back to today. Now you can see down here, it'll give you your performance details. So I'm just going to click down to here, and it's going to show you how much you have earned in terms of dollar value, the percentage of each thing, and yeah, the market's currently closed, so it's not going to be able to show you everything. But if I come to all for performance, it should show you the amount my account has grown since I opened in May. Okay. So you can see here, I'm now at 36.74% on this portfolio. Back up here. So total, where's this? All right, so in total, my dividend value is $46.73. I've earned $42.60 through the rewards program. And my balance in the account is $2,159.74. This comes from an investment of me of $1,721.15, and then a return in the market of $395.99. Now you can see to the right here, these are my holdings within that fund. So I hold these 6 different assets: the iShares S&P Asia 50 companies, global sustainability leaders, Bitcoin, the NASDAQ 100, the emerging markets Vanguard Fund, and the iShares Global 100. Now the NASDAQ and the iShares Global 100 are 2 ETFs I have described in my last video. So if you want to know any more information about them, you can check it out there. It's nice to hold a bit of an alternative asset class through the Bitcoin holding within this portfolio. And yeah, this is basically what I hold. So if you want to see how much of each asset class you actually hold, you can click on the percentage just to see how much is there. And then also the shares. So you can see here I own about 7% Bitcoin, about 30% of the NASDAQ 100 and iShares Global, about 5% in emerging markets, and then 10% in the sustainability leaders, and about 20% in the iShares S&P Asia 50. So that's pretty cool. You can see the split of your portfolio here. And if I come to shares, it'll show you how many of each holding you have. So I have 3.7 iShares of the Global Sustainability Leaders ETF, 16.87, 19 shares of the NASDAQ 100, and so forth. So there you go. That's how the holdings look and work. Now if I come over to this Invest tab here, when you look at your investment account, you can see there's the total value here. It'll show you the change you've made in the last month. And you can also then come and look down at making certain one-time investments. So once you've linked your bank account, I could just click here like $50 and it will make that investment for me as I wish. Now you can set up a recurring investment amount. So the goal is to get about $10,000 in this account. There's a recurring investment amount of $5 per week. Plus then I have it set up to also round up any extra leftover money from my PayPass transactions. So if I buy myself a coffee and it costs $4.95, what's going to happen is the 5 cents to round up to $5 is going to be invested into this account, and I believe the money transfers once a week to then get invested. Now, Raiz also offers superannuation. I haven't looked into this too much, but I keep my superannuation separate to this account. Now, we're going to have a look at our Raiz rewards. So what this is a really cool system where Raiz actually takes a bit of a liberty on your behalf to create partnerships with different brands and companies. Now, if I wanted to come down and shop online, I might just check if that brand is already affiliated with Raiz. So I could come to Adidas, for example, and it looks like 5.6% of my purchase value would then be reinvested back into my Raiz account. So for example, if I spent $100 with Adidas after logging in through Raiz, I'm going to receive $5.60 invested back into my Raiz account. So I've essentially got 5.6% off, but then that discount can grow as your investment grows. So I think that's a really cool system, and I myself have also partaken in the reward system. I used booking.com to book myself some accommodation and I received money back, and a few other things like Kogan, etc. So there's definitely some perks to here, and you can see there's a lot of wonderful companies that are listed here. If you like bonds, if you like Booktopia, or if you have any other sort of purchases down here, you can receive money back. Now, that doesn't mean you should just spend more so that you get money invested. Obviously, just investing that money makes the most sense. But if it's money you're going to spend anyway, like for example, you're going to buy a bottle of wine from Dan Murphy's, buying it online means you get essentially a discount, and that discount will get invested. So it's definitely worth doing that as opposed to going in store and making that purchase. So this is just a nice little way to get essentially the same benefits of a cashback credit card or something like that, okay? So I definitely recommend, if you're going to have a Raiz account, use the Raiz rewards program in the event you need to make a purchase online. I said don't make a special purchase just for the sake of getting cash back, okay? Be quite particular about this sort of thing. Alright, so that's Raiz rewards. Now, if you wanted to set up Raiz Super, you can go through that yourself. I'm not going to get into that because it's not up to me to recommend financial products to somebody. But we're going to have a look at the My Finance part. Now, the Raiz app can sort of categorize your spending and show you exactly where your money's going. So I think this rounded up amount is not truly reflecting of how much money I earn or receive every month. Now, my spending this month, that will be inclusive of all the money I've also sent to my brokerage accounts and investment accounts, where it says my average monthly spending of $9,903. That would also be inclusive of the money I pulled out of peer-to-peer lending last month. So it'll give you transaction categorization. You can see here that I've put 6,121 into investing, but then this categorized amount where it's come out, 6,121, that was received from Plenty after I withdrew my money from that investment platform, okay? I also have a $5,000 transaction here, which is when I sent money to my superannuation fund at the end of financial year. So you can see that you can use Raiz as a bit of a money tracking app, and you can also use it to categorize your spending so you can see where you could potentially save or cut back some of the money that you are blowing in sort of a non-frugal way. You can get notifications and tips on your spending. I choose not to partake in that just for the sake of I track my money personally. I do it myself, so I don't use this as a platform to do it, but it is there, and you can rename some of the investments and transactions, and you can categorize things as you wish. Now, Raiz have a referral program. So if you want to use my invite code, the referral code is NQR7LS, and I also have a link down in the description. If you decide to sign up today using my link, we'll both receive a $5 credit invested on our behalf. Now, I'm going to show you how you can choose your investment strategy here on Raiz. Alright, so with Raiz, you can actually choose premade portfolio. So we're going to come down to portfolio here, okay? Once this loads, you're going to be able to see that I've actually chosen a build your own portfolio strategy. This has a monthly charge of $4.50, so it's a $4.50 brokerage essentially, but that includes all of the transactions or the contributions I make every single month. Now, it also means I don't have to pay any rebalancing costs, as this happens automatically. Every time I make a deposit, okay, then that $5 or that $50 or that $100 is split evenly between these in the amount that I wish it to be done. Okay, so what we're going to do now, okay, is have a look at the different portfolios that exist. So I'm using a high growth portfolio, which is the build your own portfolio, but there are a few other options. Now, if I take a look at the conservative option here, this basically holds a lot less volatile stocks. It has the money market, the top 200 Australian stocks, top 50 Asian stocks, and then also has bonds, cash, etc. So it's actually a lot less volatile than, say, a high growth portfolio would be. You have moderately conservative. Now this obviously will earn a lot more, but still less than a high growth option. So you can see that the split's slightly different. It has less in the money market and then more in sort of the high growth stocks. It still holds bonds, so it's a little less volatile than we'd want if we had a long-term investment horizon, as it's a lot safer. Then you have moderate, and you can choose this portfolio. You can choose any portfolio you want, but I would recommend finding one which suits your investment horizon the best, okay? So one of my favorites is the Emerald or the Sapphire Portfolio, and I'm going to explain why now. So with the Emerald Portfolio, this one holds very little money, a little bit of bonds, but then it has the Australia Socially Responsible Large Cap and a Globally Responsible Large Cap. So it's like the green investing, doesn't want to affect the world negatively sort of style. It can work for some people because they might feel better about investing in this sort of way, but I like this because it still experiences very decent growth, okay? And if we look at age 29, an investment amount of $2,800 would over time become $103,000 in 48 years, okay? So that's projecting a really good return. If, however, I came to the Sapphire Portfolio, which also holds 5% in Bitcoin and is a little more aggressive, my investment would only turn into, it would still turn into 103,000 it projects, but that's starting with a lesser value, so 2,300. So it's quite interesting to see that this particular portfolio still yields so much when it does have a bit of money in bonds. You know, just here we've got 23% in bonds. You still have some large cap stocks, and it's quite a high growth style of investment, okay? This is the one that I use, which is the one I decided to split off myself. It's an edit your own portfolio, and it comes with a higher fee structure. So all the other ones have a fee structure of $3.50 per month, and then after you reach $20,000 invested, that becomes a percentage based fee. If, however, you choose to not do that and you want to go the high growth, you pay an extra $1 per month. But like I said, that means you don't pay brokerage, rebalancing, or any other associated fees when it comes to investing. Now, Raiz is a very simple app to use on the phone. It looks very different, but I want to show you on the browser, since that's where you'll likely sign up, get your bank accounts linked, and at least have a bit of a research on the app before you actually go into using it. Now, I still don't believe that anything really beats just buying a low-cost index fund and investing long-term through your brokerage account. But if you really struggle to make that first investment by saving up your money and, you know, getting $1,000 in the market or $500 to get started, a micro investing app which sort of dips your toes in the water can be very effective, because it's going to start wrapping your head around when the market dips, you lose money. When the market rises, you gain money. You want to buy when it's low, you want to hold, and you only sell when it's high, or if you need to pull those funds out. You don't want to day trade, and therefore a micro investing app like this, where you can just forget about it and grow wealth long term, that can work for a lot of people because it's completely passive and requires no active management. That means people who don't have the time to devote to researching, or people who don't really care, are still going to be able to get invested and start earning money. Alright guys, so that is the Raiz investment platform. Now, I obviously have only shown you the browser. Using the app is really good too, but I wanted to show you the browser for the reasons I listed before. If you have any experience with micro investing apps like Starship or Bamboo as well, leave a comment below and let me know about them, because I'm yet to try those out. But I do like Raiz, and I've had an account with them for about a year and 4 months, and so far I've seen amazing growth with that 36% returns. And I have actually changed my holdings over time from the Sapphire Portfolio to the High Growth Portfolio. Alright guys, if you got any value from this video, please comment below, like, share and subscribe, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video.